So, good morning, students. Today we are continuing the respiratory system part 2. This portion is for BSc 1 nursing students, health second year nursing students, health second year, that is DHI second, then lab second, that is DMLT second year students. So the respiratory system we have started already, and the system consists of 8 different organs of respiration. 8 different organs of respiration are found in the respiratory system. So in the respiratory system we can see the 8 different parts. The first one is the nose and the nasal cavity. We have already studied yesterday. The second one is the pharynx, and the third one is the larynx, that we have already studied. Now coming to the fourth one, that is the trachea. The figure is like this, tracheal figure. So this is the trachea, which is a major windpipe. Major windpipe. Trachea is an important integral anatomical structure of respiratory system called as windpipe, and is wide fibrocartilaginous tube about 11 to 12 centimeters long. It is 11 to 12 centimeters long, and it is called as the windpipe. It's a fibrocartilaginous tube-like structure which starts from the posterior part of the pharynx up to the lungs. This portion here, in this portion, the trachea is present. So the trachea is made up of fibrocartilaginous tube, which is also called as a windpipe. Next point, it begins at the lower end of pharynx. It starts from the lower end of the pharynx and runs down just below the sternum and ends at the level of the sternal angle. So at the sternal angle, we have studied already the sternum and the sternal angle. The main features of the sternal angle I have already told. The sternal angle, the first one is the trachea comes up to the sternal angle and divides into 2 bronchi. Likewise, the aorta takes its turn and comes downwards at this level. So this is a very important point, that is the sternal angle, wherein the important structures are present. So here the trachea, which comes up to the sternal angle and divides into 2 bronchi. It divides into right and the left bronchi, or posteriorly at the level of 4th and 5th thoracic vertebrae. Posteriorly at the 4th and 5th thoracic vertebrae, it divides into 2 bronchi. Anteriorly up to the sternal angle it comes and divides into right and left bronchi. Anteriorly, next point, anteriorly isthmus of thyroid lies on 2nd, 3rd and 4th tracheal rings. Anteriorly, isthmus portion of the thyroid present on the 2nd, 3rd and 4th tracheal rings. The trachea is made up of, already I have told, it is a fibrocartilaginous tube. There are cartilaginous rings are there in the trachea, half rings, and at 2nd and 3rd and 4th tracheal rings, this isthmus of the thyroid lies. Posteriorly, esophagus lies. Posteriorly, the esophagus, that is the food pipe. It is called as the food pipe. So this pipe lies in the posterior portion of the trachea. Then left side, thoracic duct and arch of aorta. Thoracic duct and the arch of aorta lies at left side. At the right side, arch of azygous vein. The arch of azygous vein is present to the tracheal region, that is the right side of the trachea. Histology means its structure. The internal structure of the trachea is like this. The inner mucosa is lined by pseudo-stratified ciliated columnar epithelial cells. The inner mucous membrane of this trachea tube is lined by pseudo-stratified ciliated columnar epithelial cells. The submucosa layer is made up of loose connective tissue, blood vessels, nerves, and mucous glands. So the submucosa contains loose connective tissue, blood vessels, nerves, and the mucous glands. The outer layer is fibrous. The outer layer of the tube is fibrous in nature. Next point, the trachea is made up of 16 to 20 C-shaped, C, A, B, C. That is the half one. This is like this, C-shaped cartilages, that is incomplete hyaline cartilages. The incomplete hyaline cartilages connected by fibrous tissue at the back. They are connected by the fibrous tissue at the back side. They are in C-shaped. They are not completed. The circle is not completed. Hence, they are C-shaped hyaline cartilages. It is made up of 16 to 20 C-shaped hyaline cartilages, rings, semicircles. Next point, just below the isthmus of thyroid, which lies on the second, third, and fourth cartilage ring, tracheostomy and emergency surgery is done to relieve obstruction of trachea at laryngeal level. So here, just below the isthmus of thyroid, that is second, third, and fourth tracheal rings, on the second, third, and fourth tracheal rings, there is a isthmus of thyroid. Just below the isthmus of thyroid, on second, third, and fourth cartilage rings, tracheostomy means they will open this place and put a pipe inside for artificial respiration. So that is called as the tracheostomy. Tracheostomy is the artificial respiration given to the patients who have the lung problems. If we have, then they will do the tracheostomy. That is, they will cut open in this point, second, third, below the second and third and fourth tracheal ring. At that point, they will cut open that point. Then they will insert a tube inside. So this, by this tube, the air is passed inside. That is, the oxygen is supplied to the lungs. Artificial respiration. So, second, third, and fourth cartilage ring, tracheostomy on emergency surgery is done to relieve obstruction of trachea at laryngeal level. It is nothing but an opening made in the trachea, and a tracheostomy tube is inserted so that air enters into the respiratory tract through it. So, a tracheostomy tube is inserted in the tracheal portion, in that portion where it is cut opened, and then the air enters into the respiratory tract through this point. That is called as a tracheostomy, an emergency surgery. It is called as an emergency surgery, tracheostomy. Coming to the next point, the last tracheal ring is thick and broad. Form its lower border a hook-like process arises and curves between the bronchi called as carina. It is associated with cough reflexes. The point is called as carina, which is nothing but the last tracheal ring has a hook-like process which arises from the curves between the bronchi called as carina. This is nothing but carina. It is named as a carina, and which takes part in cough reflexes. Now next point, function of the trachea. Air conduction, that is respiration. The primary function of trachea is to breathe in air rich in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide. The first function is air conduction, that is respiration. Then what is respiration? The primary function of the trachea is to breathe in air which is rich in oxygen and breathe out the carbon dioxide which is present in expiration. Coming to the next function, that is a protection from foreign bodies. It protects from the foreign bodies also. The lumen wall of trachea is lined by a sticky mucus layer which traps microbes and harmful substances entering along the air and expelled out during expiration or swallowed in the esophagus. The choking and coughing reflexes also helps in this action. So the protection from the foreign bodies is also done by the trachea, by the lumen wall which is lined by the thicky mucous membrane, and this mucus layer traps the microbes which enter inside along with the inspiration, and these will be expelled out. The microorganisms will be expelled out during expiration also. So thus it helps in the protection from foreign bodies. Next point, next function, digestive function. It has the digestive function also. The first is air conduction process, second is protection from foreign bodies, the third one is digestive function. It also plays an important role in the digestive process as it runs side by side of esophagus. The movement of cartilaginous rings helps the swallowing food in the esophagus. So the esophagus is by the side of this trachea and the food enters in the esophagus. It will not stop there because the trachea is there. The movement of the rings will help the food to push downwards. So thus it also helps in the digestion process. It also plays an important role in the digestive process as it runs side by side of the esophagus. The movement of cartilaginous rings help in swallowing food in esophagus. It helps the food swallowing in the esophagus. Now next function is thermoregulation. thermoregulation. When the inhaled air has increased temperature, it protects loss of heat and body temperature is retained to normal. The body temperature is always retained to the normal, even though the inhaled air has increased temperature. When the inhaled air is cold, the trachea can warm the air before it enters the lungs, promoting a thermobalance. It promotes the thermobalance. If the air is very cold, which enters inside the trachea, the tracheal wall warms the air which is present inside, and it will be pushed in the lungs. Thus, it maintains the thermobalance. So, this is all about the trachea. Coming to the bronchi, the trachea is divided into two bronchi or two pipes at the sternal angle level. So, the bronchi, point number 1, the trachea branches into the right and the left principal bronchi at the carina, which passes into the corresponding lungs at the helium and at the level of fifth thoracic vertebrae also. So, this trachea divides into right and left principal bronchi at the carina level. At the carina, that is the last ring, and at the level of fifth thoracic vertebrae, and passes into the corresponding lungs at helium of the lungs. The lungs have that portion they called as helium, and in this helium these bronchi enter inside the lungs. Now coming to the next point, the right principal bronchus is about 2.5 centimeter long and the wider, shorter and more vertical than the left. The right principal bronchi is about 2.5 centimeter long and wider, shorter and more vertical than the left one. The right bronchus, after entering the lungs, divides into three lobar bronchi, superior, middle and inferior. Three bronchi arise from the main principal bronchus. The left principal bronchus is about 5 centimeter long and it is longer, narrow and more oblique than the right one. After entering the helium of the left lung, it divides into two lobular bronchi, upper and the lower. Two lobular bronchi are present in the left lung, and in the right lung there are three lobular bronchi, superior, middle and the inferior. Three are there. In the figure of the lung, it will be explained again. The bronchi are also lined by pseudo-stratified ciliated columnar epithelial cells containing mucus producing goblet cells. They contain the goblet cells which produce the mucus, and this pseudo-stratified ciliated columnar epithelial cells or the columnar epithelium is present in the bronchi. Now coming to the next point, rings of cartilages in bronchi are similar to the trachea, which support the structure and prevent the collapse. The rings are also present in the bronchi, three bronchi and the two bronchi of the right and the left lung. The principal bronchi, which enters inside the lungs, divides into 3 branches in the right lungs and 2 branches in the left lungs. They are called as bronchi. Then coming to the next one, trachea, then principal bronchi and the bronchi are completed. Now coming to the next one, that is the sixth one, is bronchioles. The bronchi, they divide and redivide to form the bronchioles. Branches are the finest. Bronchioles are the finest branches of bronchi, which are 1 centimeter in diameter. They are 1 centimeter in diameter. They are the last branches of the bronchi. The bronchioles do not have cartilage rings. These bronchioles do not have the rings of the cartilage and lined by cuboidal epithelial cells. Not the pseudostratified epithelium, but cuboidal epithelium cells. These branches of bronchi are called bronchial tree or respiratory tree. That is called as a respiratory tree. The branches further branch until they become tiny terminal bronchioles, which lead to alveoli structures of gas exchange. Alveoli structure means air sacs, sac-like structures. The terminal end of the bronchioles is bulged one as a sac-like structure called alveoli. This alveoli is a very important point, and it is the last structure of the respiratory tract in which the gaseous exchange takes place. The wall of the alveoli is very thin, single layered one. It's just like a balloon, just like balloon. So it is a single layered celled sac-like structure called alveoli. There are more than 1000 terminal branches in each lungs. There are more than 1000 terminal ends. These are nothing but the air sacs or the alveoli, and they look like a bunch of grape bunch. ದ್ರಾಕ್ಷಿ ಹಣ್ಣಿನ ಗೊಂಚಲು ಕಂಡಂಗೆ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ. That is the grape bunch. The muscular wall can change the size of tube to increase and decrease while air flow through the tube. So while the air flows through the tube, this structure of the alveoli can be changed. Now coming to the seventh one, that is the alveoli, that is the air sac. Alveoli are the final terminals of each branches, bronchi. Alveoli are the final terminals of each bronchi. The terminal bronchiole further divides into respiratory bronchiole and alveolar ducts. The alveolar ducts is a tube composed of smooth muscles and connective tissue which opens into the cluster of alveoli. An alveolus is made up of many small grape-like sacs that are attached to alveolar ducts and responsible for gas exchange. Alveoli contains a tiny layer of epithelial cells surrounded by numerous capillaries. Exchange of gases takes place through the walls of these capillaries. The wall of the alveoli is made up of connective tissue with elastic fibers which allow the alveolus to stretch during air intake. They have to be stretched during the air intake. Hence, they are made up of the connective tissue and the elastic fibers. The alveolar wall contain three types of cells: type 1, type 2 and macrophages. Type 1 cell, type 2 cells and the macrophages. Three types of cells are present in the alveolar wall. Type 1 are the alveolar squamous epithelial cells which constitute 97% of alveolar surface area. The surface area of the alveoli contains the type 1 cells which are 97% and are highly permeable to gaseous exchange. So here they are very highly permeable, means they allow the air to exchange itself. The oxygen is taken inside and carbon dioxide is given out in the alveoli. Type 2 cells are septal cells which secrete a substance composed of phospholipids and proteins that reduces the surface tension of the alveoli. The third type are roaming cells called macrophages, which are phagocytic cells of the immune system that remove pathogens reached the alveoli. By chance, if the pathogens reach the alveoli, there the phagocytic cells, the macrophages which act like a phagocytic cell, and they engulf and they destroy the pathogens which enter the alveoli. Next point, the epithelium is externally extremely thin and borders the endothelial epithelium of capillaries to form respiratory membrane. The epithelium is extremely thin. The epithelium of the air sacs is very thin and borders the endothelial epithelium of the capillaries. The capillary endothelium is attached to the epithelium of this air sacs to form a respiratory membrane. It forms the respiratory membrane where the gaseous exchange takes place, which is 0.5 mm thick. See, it's very thin layer. 0.5 thickness is there, mm thickness is there. This respiratory membrane allows gases to cross by simple diffusion, allowing oxygen to be picked up by the blood for transport and oxygen to be released in the air of alveoli. Carbon dioxide is to be released into the air of alveoli. So here all the parts are over. They are, I have already explained, the respiratory system consists different organs. They are nose and the nasal cavity, the pharynx, the larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, alveoli, that is the air sacs, and the diaphragm. The last one is the diaphragm. Diaphragm is with the lungs. So I will explain that one also. Diaphragm is below the lungs. So total 8 organs are there. They are the respiratory organs. They will ask in the exam, write down the names of the respiratory organs. So serially you have to name the respiratory organs. All the respiratory organs you have to name. They are 8 in number. 8 in number. Entidawe ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಟುಕೊಳ್ಳಬೇಕಿವು. 8 organs are there in the respiratory system. So tomorrow we will take the lungs in detail. The lungs and the layers of the lungs, the chambers of the lungs, and other all parts of the lungs and the function of the lungs also tomorrow we will study. Thank you very much.